Tonight, we delve into one of humanity's most terrifying tales, the legend of the Ghoul. This monstrous predator is said to prowl the desolate landscapes, preying on unsuspecting victims and leaving their loved ones forever scarred by the experience. The question is, did the ghastly specter originate from some sinister source, or is it merely a figment of our collective imagination? Some believe that the Ghoul originated from the pagan beliefs of pre-Islamic Arabia. According to these beliefs, the jinn were supernatural beings made of fire and air that inhabited the earth. They were believed to be immortal and could possess humans, causing them to act in strange and unpredictable ways. One type of jinn was known as the Ghoul, and it was said to feed on the dead, causing them to bloat. These beliefs were eventually incorporated into the Islamic faith, where the Ghoul became known as a demon or monster. However, it's important to note that the Quran does not specifically mention the Ghoul, and the details of its appearance and behavior have varied widely across different cultures and time periods. Another theory suggests that the Ghoul originated from folklore passed down through generations of desert dwellers. These tales often served as warnings to travelers to beware of the dangers of the desert and to never venture out alone. The Ghoul was said to prey on those who wandered off the beaten path, and its presence was often heralded by the sound of a flute or drum. Some stories also claim that the Ghoul could shapeshift into various forms, including that of a human, and it was known to lure its victims into traps before devouring them. Yet another theory proposes that the Ghoul may have been based on real-life predators that inhabited the desert. For instance, the Arabian Peninsula is home to several species of large cats, such as the sand cat and the caracal, which are known for their hunting skills and ability to stalk their prey. Some believe that these felines may have inspired the Ghoul myth, which may have originally described a wild cat that preys on livestock or even humans. Despite the various theories surrounding its origin, there is no doubt that the Ghoul has left an indelible mark on world mythology and folklore. Its image has been immortalized in literature, art, and film, and its presence continues to be felt in modern-day tales of mystery and horror. Some people believe that the Ghoul myth may have originated from ancient Mesopotamian cultures, such as the Sumerians, Akkadians, and Babylonians. These civilizations had their own beliefs and mythology, which included tales of demons and monsters that inhabited the underworld. One such creature was the Ghoul, a demon that was said to devour the souls of the dead and prevent them from entering the afterlife. This demon was often depicted as having a lion's head and claws, and it was believed to roam the earth at night, searching for souls to consume. Some scholars believe that this Mesopotamian creature have been a precursor to the Ghoul, as both creatures share similar characteristics and are associated with the realm of the dead. However, there is no direct evidence to support this theory, and the exact origins of the Ghoul remain shrouded in mystery. One of the earliest written accounts of the Ghoul can be found in a book called Kitab al-Magnu, translated as the Book of the Assembly, which was compiled by an Arab scholar named al-Tabari in the 9th century CE. In this book, the Ghoul is described as a demon or monster that lurks in cemeteries and preys on the bodies of the dead. The story goes that one night a man was buried alive, and as he lay in his grave, he heard the sound of chains dragging metal moans. Then out of the corner of his eye, he saw the ghastly specter of a Ghoul approaching him. The creature had the face of a dog, sharp teeth and dripping saliva. Despite being trapped in a coffin, the man managed to fight back against the Ghoul and ultimately triumphed over the beast. While this tale may seem like nothing more than a scary story, it offers valuable insights into the early perceptions of the Ghoul and its place in Islamic folklore. During the Islamic Golden Age, which spanned from the 8th to the 14th century, Muslim scholars made significant contributions to various fields of knowledge, including mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. However, they also delved into the study of the occult and the supernatural, which led to the emergence of magical texts that detailed rituals and incantations to ward off evil spirits and demons. These texts often contained references to the ghoul and provided instructions on how to protect oneself against its evil influence. One such text is the Hilya al-Awliya, which is a collection of stories about the lives of Islamic saints. In one of the stories, a young man is plagued by nightmares of a ghoul that is trying to drag him into a grave. To escape the creature's clutches, he recites a prayer and makes the sign of the cross, which repels the ghoul and brings the nightmares to an end. As time went on, the ghoul's reputation grew and it became a prominent figure in Arabic folklore. During the Ottoman period, which lasted from the 16th to the 20th century, tales of the ghoul were frequently shared among nomadic tribes who lived in the deserts of Arabia. These stories often served as cautionary tales to warn travelers to avoid wandering alone in the desert after dark, as this was when the ghoul was most active. However, despite its widespread popularity in oral tradition, the ghoul remained relatively unknown outside of the Middle East until the 18th century, when European scholars began to rediscover ancient Arabic texts. As they delved deeper into the world of Arabic folklore, they came across stories of the ghoul and were fascinated by the creature's unique characteristics and terrifying reputation. One of the first European scholars to write about the ghoul was the German Orientalist Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, who included a story about the creature in his collection of folk tales called The Green Snake and the New Jacket. Another European scholar who was captivated by the ghoul was the British poet and explorer Sir Richard Francis Burton, who wrote extensively about the creature in his book The Book of the Thousand Nights and a Night, which was published in 1885. Burton's version of the ghoul was particularly gruesome, and he described it as a scavenger that fed on the corpses of animals and humans alike. He also claimed that the ghoul could shapeshift and assume various forms, including that of a human, in order to lure its victims into a false sense of security. As the 20th century rolled around, the ghoul's popularity in Western culture continued to grow, and it became a common figure in horror films and literature. One of the most famous portrayals of the ghoul can be found in the 1951 film The Thing from Another World, in which an alien creature that crash lands in the Arctic is referred to as the ghoul. Another iconic depiction of the ghoul can be found in the 1982 film An American Werewolf in London, in which the protagonist is warned about the dangers of the ghoul while hiking in the Yorkshire Wolds. While these portrayals may be fictional, they reflect the enduring fascination with the ghoul and its ability to evoke fear and revulsion in audiences worldwide. Although the ghoul is most commonly associated with Islam and Arabic culture, it has also made appearances in other religious traditions and mythological systems. For instance, in Jewish folklore, there is a creature called the Lilith that shares many similarities with the ghoul. Lilith is said to be the first wife of Adam, and she is often depicted as a demon who preys on children and sucks their life force. Similarly, in Christian demonology, there is a demon named Abaddon who is associated with death and destruction. Abaddon is said to be the king of the demons, and he is often depicted as a bringer of pestilence and famine. While these creatures may not be exactly the same as the ghoul, they demonstrate the widespread fear of demonic and monstrous entities that existed in many cultures throughout history. Despite its long history and widespread popularity, the ghoul continues to be a relatively mysterious and enigmatic creature whose origins and nature aren't fully understood. Many scholars and folklorists have attempted to explain the ghoul and its significance, but ultimately, its true essence remains elusive, and its presence continues to evoke a sense of dread and fascination in those who encounter it. This concludes part 1 of our series on the dark myth of ghouls. If you enjoyed this video, please stay tuned for part 2, where we will explore modern encounters and disappearances attributed to these terrifying creatures. Thank you for watching and take care.